The episode begins with a flashback to a rainy night. Under a tree, a woman is sitting and holding a baby, singing the poem, "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star." Suddenly, another woman comes out of her nearby house and asks, "Who are you, and what are you doing here? Go home, it's late." The woman with the baby replies, "I can't go home now." Concerned, the second woman says, "Then come into my house. The baby'll get sick in this rain." Seeing the child, the mother asks, "Can you help me? I need to go to the store to get medicine for my child. I will come back and take him." The homeowner agrees, saying, "Okay, but come back quickly." However, the moment she looks down at the baby and then looks back up, the mother has vanished. The scene shifts to 18 years later at a lively festival. A young girl, Lu Xiaoyu, points at a food stall and says, "Lu Xiu, I want to eat this." Lu Xiu replies, "Xiaoyu, what did we decide when we bought the jacket? If you want clothes, you can't spend money on unnecessary things. Otherwise, we'll fall short on my next semester's school fees." Xiaoyu requests it again, but Lu Xiu refuses. She then remarks, "You have changed." Lu Xiu asks, "Where did you learn to talk like that?" Giving in, he buys it for her. Xiaoyu holds it and says, "One is enough for me." Around them, people in the crowd are gossiping. One asks, "Did you hear the news on the internet? A man suddenly became incredibly strong." Lu Xiu jokes, "My body isn't that strong compared to this age," and gives the food to Xiaoyu. Lu Xiu then guides her through the crowd to the very front as they watch a performer breathe fire. Something strange happens in front of Lu Xiu. He sees a sudden vision or shot, and the pendant around his neck begins to glow. Everything returns to normal quickly. Lu Xiu looks at the fire breather in amazement and wonders, is this acrobatics, magic, or a superpower? When the show ends, Xiaoyu suggests maybe he can teach us that trick so we can earn some money. Lu Xiu initially refuses, but then an idea strikes him. He suddenly grabs her and tries to sneak away from the area quickly. However, they stumble upon a scene they weren't supposed to see. The man who was performing the fire show is standing there, surrounded by men in black coats. The men shoot the performer. Lu Xiu and Xiaoyu witness the shooting. One of the men notices them and asks, "Who are you?" Lu Xiu, thinking fast, acts terrified and lies, "We lost our way. We just needed to use the toilet." The man says, "We are police. We have permission for this." Lu Xiu thinks to himself, if that were true, the show wouldn't have happened in the first place. "Do you take me for a fool?" Out loud, he asks, "Where is the toilet?" The man points in a direction. Lu Xiu says thanks and quickly escapes with Xiaoyu. Once they are safely outside, Lu Xiu asks, "Can you tell me what happened in there? Those men in black? Are they targeting people who have superpowers?" Later, they share a quiet moment. Xiaoyu says, "Even though we aren't related by blood, I will always come back to you." Lu Xiu replies, "If there are other powerful people in this world, what will you do?" She answers, "In this life, I will protect you." Then, breaking the serious mood, she asks, "Can you make me food now?" On their way home, they encounter a neighbor, Auntie Li. She says, "Oh, you're back." Xiaoyu immediately starts acting weak and pretends to be sick to get sympathy and medicine. But Lu Xiu drags her away before she can finish her act. Back home, Lu Xiu is making noodles, but they run out. He promises to make more later. The scene shifts to the present time. Lu Xiu was walking on the road when suddenly a truck hits him. He's thrown far away, and blood starts pouring from his head. As he lies there, a loading interface appears in his vision. His body floats into the air, and the nut-shaped pendant he was wearing breaks and is absorbed into his body. He falls back down and opens his eyes. He thinks, "The truck hit me, but I don't feel any pain. Do I have superpowers too?" He stands up and confronts the truck driver, saying, "You will have to pay the price for this." Suddenly, numbers start appearing over the driver's head. The driver is terrified and runs away. Lu Xiu goes to a nearby store to buy instant noodles. The shopkeeper is shocked to see the blood on Lu Xiu's head, and numbers appear over his head as well. Lu Xiu quickly pays for the noodles and runs out. As he runs home, he sees numbers appearing over everyone he passes. He reaches home. Xiaoyu asks, "What happened to you?" Lu Xiu lies, "I had an accident, but I'm fine. I'm going to shower, make the noodles, and check my life status." When Lu Xiu looks in the mirror, the wounds on his body have completely disappeared. There is now a mark on his palm. He realizes, so it wasn't a dream. Sitting in his room, a screen appears before him. It lists the names of the people he encountered, like the driver and the shopkeeper, and shows that their fear resulted in income for him. He realizes that their negative emotions have become his currency. He thinks, I've unlocked my superpowers. Have I become a demon king? The more negative emotions I cause, the stronger I get. He touches the screen to play a lottery wheel game. The wheel spins, but he gets "thanks for playing" several times. Finally, he wins a strange fruit that looks like an apple. He eats it, a light bursts forth and is absorbed into his body. He says, "This is quite comfortable." Excited, he keeps spinning the wheel, spending his points until they are all gone. On his final try, he wins a note containing the poem "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star." As he begins to sing it, a light shines again, and his consciousness is transported to a space that looks like the cosmos. He sees himself in this space and realizes he can farm points from Xiao Yu. Back in reality, he tells her, "Put some coriander in the noodles," knowing she hates it or it will annoy her. As she gets angry, his points, or income, start increasing. In the final scene, they're watching the news which reports a fire at a shopping center. Lu Shu tells Xiao Yu, "Stay here, I'm going to the roof to look." He goes up to the roof and spots the men in black clothes running below. He quickly hides. Suddenly, one of the men stops, becomes alert, and looks directly toward the spot where Lu Shu was hiding. Lu Shu sits there, covering his mouth, terrified and holding his breath.